Hey guys, this is Clutch Hoops, and welcome to my pre-lottery NBA mock draft. This is a pretty good class, and I'm excited to get started, so without further ado, let's get straight to it. With the first pick, the Houston Rockets select Victor Wembanyama. What else is there to say that hasn't already been said? 7'4" with a crazy versatile skill set. He can put the ball on the floor and finish at the rim. He's incredibly hard to stop, and he has shown some great mid-range and off-the-dribble flashes, which leads me to believe in his future scoring upside. The three is definitely an area that would help his game out, and I'm afraid he might struggle with his efficiency against taller, stronger NBA defenders early, and you can expect him to struggle to defend in space and against strong post players like Giannis and Embiid. The Rockets are really happy with this pick and feel like he definitely has the highest ceiling in the draft. It may not be the best fit alongside players like Jabari Smith Jr. and Alperen Sengun, but this gives H-Town a chance to run a Twin Towers lineup of Jabari Smith Jr. and Wemby, which sounds pretty exciting to me. On to the next pick. Drafting second is the San Antonio Spurs, and they select Scoot Henderson, my favorite prospect. The Spurs are definitely disappointed they couldn't land Wemby, but their consolation prize is Scoot, an extremely talented athlete who's an absolute future franchise cornerstone. Scoot played in the G League against grown men and pro players and averaged 17, 5, and 7 on 43, 28, and 76% shooting splits. He reminds me a lot of Russell Westbrook and Derrick Rose, the way he attacks the basket and lives above the rim. He's exciting and easily the best point guard in the draft. He fits in really well in San Antonio with their young core of Devin Vassell and Keldon Johnson. I have a lot of confidence in him improving and becoming a three-level scorer, provided that jump shot improves, which looks pretty probable with his impressive work ethic. The Charlotte Hornets are picking third, and they take Brandon Miller. I love the way this mock has worked out for the Hornets. Brandon Miller, a high 3D level in college for Alabama. He did struggle in March Madness, but in my mind is still a top 3 pick. I think whoever ends up with pick 3 will end up taking Miller, which says a lot about his versatility and how he'll fit on any team. His rookie year, he'll be able to provide good shooting and much needed in and out defense for the Hornets. I think his floor is still pretty high. He'll be something like an early Phoenix Mikal Bridges. And just like Mikal, the questions are about expanding his game further as a scorer. He's got all the tools to expand and grow as a player, and he's already a positive defensively. I like his fit on the wing alongside LaMelo. Indiana's at 4, and they take Jarace Walker out of Houston. Indiana picks Walker for his impressive versatility at 6'9". If they paired him with Miles Turner, opposing forwards are going to struggle to finish at the rim. He's a little raw offensively, but he's shown enough finishing at the rim and even a bit in the post and mid-range. He'll be able to guard 4 to 5s right away and occasionally kept up with quicker wings in college. He doesn't create for himself very well past 13 feet, but this works pretty well with Tyrese Haliburton, who will be able to feed him on lobs and dump-offs. Indiana has a lot of scoring and a promising defensive forward with decent offensive upside would definitely fit well in their system. The Detroit Pistons fall to 5 in this mock, and I have them taking Cam Whitmore. They're the unfortunate recipient of Indiana climbing into the top 5, and they aren't exactly in the best position here, so they settle with someone like Cam Whitmore. I avoided the Thompson twins because Detroit already has ball handlers in Cade and Jaden Ivey, and I feel like cramming their backcourt wouldn't do too well. I think both the twins are a little too raw to be taken so high, and they definitely faced questionable competition compared to college competition like Cam faced. Cam's a big athletic wing who can create his own shot and get to the rim really effectively. He's one of the better slashers in the class, and he'll fit really well with his scoring upside alongside Ivy and Cade, who will feed him lobs in the dunker spot. Those who generate a lot of attention in transition will give Cam a lot of opportunities as a cutter, which works really well in the Detroit offense. At pick number 6, the Trailblazers land Ausar Thompson. This is one of the only circumstances I think Ausar goes over his brother Amen. Ausar is athletic, a 6'7" forward from OTE who has great defensive instincts and a pretty raw offensive game. However, he's shown some progress over the course of the OTE season as his three-pointer has improved. He's a lob finisher and has a lot of playmaking and guard skills, which makes him a great connecting piece. Portland passes over on his brother Amen and a couple of other guards because they'll probably continue their Damian Lillard era. Ausar will likely be more of a defensive and playmaking piece early in his career, but he'll still have a lot of room to grow. Next up is the Orlando Magic, and they take his brother, Amen Thompson. Amen is the more offensively inclined of the twins. He's more of a ball-dominant player and more of a passer. He can make an array of passes, and he's very good at finding cutters and bigs in the dunker spot. He's more of a guard, even at 6'7", and offers a little bit more help for Orlando's lack of spacing and playmaking. He fits with their big lineup, and I think he's a perfect pick for Orlando, who needs to make some decisions about their guard rotation. Amen is one of the better guards in this draft, in my mind, and he has a pretty high ceiling. So I think this is a pretty solid pick for the Magic. Next up, at number 8, it's the Washington Wizards, and they pick Anthony Black. Anthony Black gives me a lot of LaMelo vibes. He's another one of those big guards who's really an amazing playmaker. He's probably the best pure passer in the draft. He's 6'7" with a near 7-foot wingspan, which makes him a great defender. In college, he averaged 2 steals a game and consistently made it difficult for opposing ball handlers. The 4 assists a game doesn't completely speak to his playmaking, and his game is still very productive. His efficiency scoring was alright at about 45% from the field, but he struggled from 3 at about 30%. His release is a little slow, which concerns me, but I think he's still a pretty good thing to bet on this late. I feel like Washington's going to need to hit the reset button soon, and Beal could definitely use a better backcourt player. The Utah Jazz are picking next at 9, and I have them taking Cason Wallace out of Kentucky. The Jazz had a bottom 5 defense last year, and part of that is because they have next to no perimeter defense. Cason, in my mind, is without a doubt the best defender in the class. He's only about 6'3", which puts a cap to his versatility, but he definitely will be able to guard guards and smaller wings right away. He moves extremely well on defense, and he's solid enough offensively that he should be passable as a rookie. The efficiency is still pretty good, and in a couple years, he'll probably be around that Drew Holiday level defensively, about a block or a couple steals a game. He's unselfish and wants to win, and I think he'd fit really well amongst this young Jazz team. Next up is the Dallas Mavericks, and I have them taking Taylor Hendricks. Taylor Hendricks is a perfect fit with the Mavs' needs, and they're so happy that he fell to them. He provides defensive versatility, a great shot blocker, and a really strong rebounder. The Mavs had a bottom 15 defense last season and allowed the 7th most total rebounds. Hendricks plugs a lot of the holes defensively, and I think he'll work out great as a cutter alongside Luke and Kyrie. They severely missed DFS after the deadline, and I think Hendricks makes an impact from day one. He averaged 15 on 48, 39, 78 splits, which shows he's also got a pretty high future upside. He won't be an amazing three-point shooter right away, but I think he'll be able to contribute just about enough for the Mavericks to make him serviceable. This is pretty close to the Mavs' dream situation, and Hendricks might be one of the biggest sleepers in this draft. Next up is the Orlando Magic at pick 11, and I have them taking Grady Dick. It's rare you find a talent like Grady Dick in a frame like his. He's 6'8" with a near 7-foot wingspan. Grady is another one of my favorite prospects because of his incredible shooting and offensive versatility. He's easily the best shooter in the class, and I believe he's got some of the highest scoring upside in the entire draft. He scored 14 a game for Kansas on 44, 40, 85 splits, which really impressed me. I really love his game, and I think he's got all the tools to be an amazing two-way player. His wingspan allows him to contest shots and get poke steals pretty easily. He averaged a steal a game in college. Orlando is one of the biggest winners in this mock. They land 2 big wings who are versatile, and they address their biggest needs, shooting. Great value. As we near the end of the lottery, it becomes pretty uncertain with what each team is going to take next in the draft. At number 12, it's the Oklahoma City Thunder, and I have them betting on upside with someone like Keontae George. Another prospect with crazy scoring upside. He's a smaller 6'3" guard from Baylor who at 15 on some pretty shaky efficiency. 37, 33, 80. The flashes both offensively and defensively have been there, even if he's underperformed against higher competition, which is definitely a concern. He's going to struggle early in that Cam Thomas type role his rookie season, but he's going to be a big payout. OKC is in a secure enough situation to take a gamble here, even if they have plenty guards. I really like Keontae's scoring, but the dependence on his jumper worries me a lot, and I don't know how much of an impact defender he's going to be at the next level. We're nearing the end here at 13, where the Toronto Raptors take Jalen Hood-Schifino from Indiana. The Raptors miss on some prospects they would have liked, but end up with JHS. He's a 6'6" combo guard who put up 13, 4, and 4 on 42, 33, 77% splits. He's a pretty smart and cerebral player, and I like his fit with the Raptors. He's an instinctual playmaker, and I feel that Toronto definitely lacks at the guard position and could use some more playmaking. His shot isn't consistent, but it looks good, and he's shown a lot of tough shot making off the dribble, all the way up to the three-point line. He's not consistent enough, but he's got all the tools to be a great player. It's a bit of a reach here at 13, and he might end up going in the early 20s. But I think it's a good pick for the Raptors, as they pick a more resilient player and versatile player over other guards. With the last pick in the lottery, the New Orleans Pelicans are going to select Nick Smith Jr., another inefficient scoring guard. I realize there's a lot of them in this class. The Pelicans just shoot for upside at this point, because there aren't many win-now players worth taking this early. Nick Smith Jr. struggled with injury, and he was forced to play a little bit out of position alongside Anthony Black in Arkansas. He was thrust into a more scoring role, and beyond that, I don't see many more impact skills that he'll be able to contribute to. His struggle and inefficiency may make him a little bit unplayable, but he can still score around the rim and use the floater game pretty well at 6'5". And with that, we've reached the end of our draft. Thank you for watching. I'd appreciate it if you left a like, and subscribe if you want to see more content like this. I'll see you next time.